And then could I have, starting over here, could I have all the city employees just stand up, your name and which department you represent and which kind of problem you would want to be working on if they needed you.
Mr. Bureau of Public Works, Parks and Housing.
Basically, just be smart. Don't run from anything. If you're in front of a mountain lion, it sounds kind of dumb, but I always say make yourself look big. The mountain lion, they're not looking for a fight. None of these animals are looking for a fight. They're looking for a meal. Now, that brings me down some handouts if anybody wants to get these. We call that a sort of Eating Wild program. Essentially, especially actually in this particular area, it actually falls under a specific jurisdiction for San Bernardino County, where there are actually some county codes where it's illegal to leave out food between the hours of 10 and 6 in the morning because they know that there's a lot of them. So on these counties, these handouts, I specifically brought the bear one, but like anything, any of the wild animals we have in this area. Basically, how to prevent them from coming down here and trying to make home. Again, the hard part is there's a lot of artificial water, so runoff from water. However, other things that people do to attract them, bird feeders. I've been getting phone call after phone call in the right way saying, hey, bears are coming right about this bird feeders. Whenever I put in one up, the bear comes back. So I keep telling them, they're putting bird feeders. So it sounds kind of silly, but you want to remove the element that's going to attract the animals to your yard. So I know a lot of people have fruit trees. Any low-hanging fruit, any fruit that drops to the ground, it's going to attract coyotes, it's going to attract raccoons, it's going to attract other animals, it's going to attract giraffes, it's going to attract wildcats, mountain lions, and it will definitely attract bears. So if you're putting food in your trash can, freeze it, put it out at night, that's attract. That's also a lot of it's very simple. I can Scott home, lady in, literally Scott home before I got here, lady in Crestline. Used to be complaining about bear coming in through or eating koi. I don't think they has any koi fish, it's still this fish of $700. The other day, I put koi in this pond, bears coming in my fish. Because when you're in the middle of bear habitat, and you're shooting something that's going to attract every bear within 10 miles, that's so stuff in to why we're really fish. I'm not really sure what we're going to do. Because we can't move them. We did move 513, but she was kind of unique. In any case, when we have bears in suburban and urban areas, generally we'll guard them if we can and move them to another area and release them over there and go back. If we come across them there, then we have to put them to either a zoo. Oftentimes, the bear will say this before. The bear is constantly causing damage. And a lot of times that damage or that bear has been brought in by people attracting them, either not picking up their food, not picking up their garbage, but they're actually, I know, intending to come around and video of people feeding, which is a violation of county code, violation of fish and game code, and basically once wildlife becomes habituated and used to getting handouts from people, that's when we become dangerous. That's when I normally, if I get a phone call saying that a mountain lion out here wasn't there, okay, you're wrong. It's not being aggressive, it's not attacking anybody. It's just a situation that we're not going to do. We're not making it sports. But if it's becoming aggressive, the bears are becoming used to people feeding it, and the bears are becoming aggressive, that's when we have to step in. We're our main job is to protect it. And then yeah, question or not? Go ahead, kind of right. Yeah.
There was a call that was made, a 911 call that was made to my house, and it was about 11:30, and the cops they were slamming on the door, and honestly, I thought it was a burglar. And had they knocked on the door, it would have been different. But, I mean, is that the protocol? Banging on the door?
Banging on the car door
My door, my home door.
to get you out? Or?
No, somebody called 911
Okay.
in our home, and the cops came, and they were banging on my door.
This is for bear.
No, it has nothing to do with the bear, sorry.
He works for a state agency. He doesn't work for the police department.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So that would be something I could talk to you about later.
Okay.
But with that, we have a funny story.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. We did get a call black bear will run through all bears in a series of colors, no matter what color the bear is, it's going to be a black bear. So cinnamon, blonde, brown, and black bear, usually like patch of white in the front. Considering how large they are, they're not very aggressive. They can be, they are a large wild animal. The typical size between 3 and 4 pounds. When I've seen them in the wild, it's 5 pounds. And I think it's almost like a person to start getting fat. It's just go right out. But they're not going to charge you. If they do charge you, it's normally a glove. Black bear, like I said, you can yell at them, scream at them. If you throw a pencil, for some reason you need the sound of the pencil, they get around. Get no reward. It freaks them out. We use bean bags, so if you guys have access to bean bags, use it to basically start a photo shot in that first kind of area. That said, they do really are wild animals. They are wild animals. They can't be so flying are very few attacks. But especially in California. The only one I know in this area was a kid up in the right way, and a Boy Scout camp one that was in the park in 6th grade. And all the factors has to do with bear. You see that with one house and the bear. There's a bear like across the penis. But can't watch that kid and try to open him up, trying to use that candy bar. The kid's screaming about what the heck was that? You actually had to kill the bear for doing that interaction. I don't know where it's all at. You know, and even when you stand up, talk about all the staff here for you guys. I'll give you a pretty nice deal with you live in the area and more of the basically, I just said, if you have to feed your pets inside, go outside, take all that in, keep the water source in, and actually some of that, there's one really healthy river down the valley. They have a few code, so I guess the people are really insane, and food knows they're now as close to truth to this. And was eating us about. Thank you very much.
Next up, we have Officer Lang and Officer Macias here with our narcotics unit. They're going to talk to you a little bit about some signs and symptoms of children or teenagers that are under the influence of drugs or alcohol. And they are with our narcotics unit. They're wearing very good disguises, so this isn't actually what they look like, in case there's any people who want to know what narcotics officers look like.
Yeah, despite what you guys think, we are real cops. Today what we're going to talk about is we're going to give you a little bit of things to look for when you're teenagers or kind of acting up anything. Maybe if they're using drugs or if they're getting around that age and you start getting to high school and you're getting exposed to, factors in life. We're not going to make you guys like big experts in like recognizing drugs and stuff. We're going to give you like things to look for and signs that your teenagers or your kids are displaying that you would never think of. So it's not necessarily for, could be for your kids, could be for your kids' friends. Your kids bring lots of friends over. Some of them you guys don't really agree with, you don't really want your kids hanging out with. And you'd be able to recognize certain things and you can tell your kids, see, look, I don't want you hanging out with this guy or this girl because of this, this, and this. The narcotics that we're going to talk to you about today, we're just going to talk about your main ones that we see on the streets are methamphetamine, heroin, marijuana, cocaine, and prescription pills. Like Lieutenant said, my name is Officer Lane. I've been an officer here for over 7 years now. I've attended over 500 hours of That little clip in the video is the paranoid part that we're talking about. Now to the good stuff, the things to look for. It's okay, you guys can search your own kid's bedroom. Despite what they say, you can't search my bedroom, you don't have the right to, you guys can. You guys are the parents, you guys make the rules, it's your house. If you think they're up to no good, search it, and we'll try to give you some things to look for. The most common way that people use methamphetamine is by ingesting it, smoking it, snorting it, and ingesting it. The most common that we have seen is smoking. And what they use to smoke it is this glass pipe up on the left. It's just a normal glass pipe that you can get at any smoke shop, any hookah shop, any place that sells
It's not start thinking, okay, maybe my kid's been acting up lately. This might be a reason they might be on drug. Digital scales are mostly for your drug dealers. However, people who like using drugs, they don't like to get ripped off. If you want to buy a gram of drugs, you want sometimes you go home, you want to weigh it up, make sure you're not getting ripped off. Nobody wants to get ripped off. So if you start seeing digital scales laying around and they're not scientists or something, that starts something to start thinking about also. These are faces, what they call faces of meth. The normal pictures are on the left, and after using meth for a little bit, that's the pictures on the right. This is what meth can do to your kids. Things to look for is if they start talking rapid speed, like slow down, why are you talking so quick? In large pupils, we're talking 5-6 millimeters. Needle marks in the arm, a white coated tongue in the back. If when people smoke meth, it leaves a white residue on the back of your tongue. And there's nothing you can do to prevent that. So if you think that your kid or your friend's kids are smoking, and you can't really tell them, open their mouth, stick their tongue out. If the back of your tongue is coated white, like powdered sugar, that's a sign. People who use meth, they get paranoid and they love scratching themselves. That's what makes those pop marks on the face, open sores, open cuts like that. They just scratch and scratch and scratch and scratch and scratch. They can't help it. Okay, we'll move on to heroin now. Heroin in Southern California is making a huge comeback right now. And we're talking mostly with our young kids from anywhere from early teens to mid-20s. I don't know why it's making a huge comeback, but it is. Every week we're catching young kids. You're talking 15, 16, 17-year-old kids with lots of balloons of heroin for some reason. And it's circling throughout all the schools. Most common names for